Hey guys, I know there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world, but I want to actually backtrack to an event that happened last week because it's about one of my favorite people, and if you can't tell, that person is Karen Strassman. It's Strassman or Strassman, I don't remember how it's pronounced. All I know is that she's in everything, and she was also Edge in Ace Combat 5, so maybe you'll recognize her voice.
Adversary has eyes and ears everywhere.
I will have my revenge someday. You are more resilient than I thought. I was hoping to take you somewhere a little less populated.
The white bird in outer space, with Yuktobania outclassing us in firepower. It was the president's one trump card in the peace negotiations. And now, it's fallen right out of our hands.
I was trying to impress you, but all I...
Okay, she's got all her reels, and let me just show you for a second. That's her. That's her casting resume, and I don't think it's even complete. It's just 17 solid pages of... I don't even know how many are on a page. Ridiculous. Absolute legend. Also, fluent in French.
L'Oréal, parce que je le vaux bien. On n'a plus besoin d'aller aux États-Unis pour manger des cookies. Maintenant, il y a Hello de Lou. Pour des cookies croustillantes en pépites de chocolat.
I don't know. She's selling chocolate cookies or something. I want to buy it, whatever it is. Karen's a legend. She's been around since, I think, 95 was her first video game, and she's been doing games, anime, on-screen stuff, and she does the motion capture. She's just one of the best. She's just one of the best actresses in the business, period. And they're coming after her. Well, they were last week, at least. The outrage mob came. Many articles like this, but the long and short is she likes some naughty tweets. She likes some tweets by the Orange Man, Christy Alley, actually lots of other conservative stuff too. And these people are freaking out. The leftists are freaking out. They're trying to cancel her. They're calling her a shithead. They're calling her all kinds of things. Oh yeah, you shouldn't support her moving forward now that you know. Guys, stupid. And Karen handled this perfectly. She did nothing. Because she owes no explanation to anyone. Because she didn't do anything wrong. So, my only fear with this kind of crap is that these idiots are loud and annoying. And the suits get spooked easily by these type of people. And then they won't hire her. And the whole industry without Karen Strassman it suffers. She's that much of a force. Whether it's the mocap on screen acting, the voice acting for anime, the voice acting for video games, just the level of experience and skill she brings to the table. To just write her off because suddenly she might have voted for the Orange Man is ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. If this was like a one-time thing, I'd probably be like, oh, yeah, okay, these people they're just crazy, right? But this is the kind of stuff that happens that gets even leftists removed from Ubisoft games and stuff like that, right? I'm sure if someone trolls through her likes, they will find something problematic, even more so, to basically be outraged about. Is this her likes? Yeah, I mean, just all kinds of different stuff. And most of it has to do with the acting and things, and occasionally she, likes some stuff the president said, like some stuff Christy Alley said. But the majority of what she talks about is basically industry stuff, and she doesn't really tweet the political stuff. She just usually just likes it. In fact, I didn't know she was conservative at all. Anytime somebody I follow who's a lefty likes something by Sanders or Biden or some other maniac, it shows up in my feed saying this person liked that. But I've never seen a conservative tweet liked by Karen Strassman pop up in my feed. Even though I've liked some stuff that she's liked, I've never seen it basically... I've never seen it pop up. Like, you think I would have known that, right? But it's fine. I don't care what her politics are. It's fun that she's on my team. I like that. That's kind of cool. But it's not a deal breaker. And even if she wasn't, like, having her in the industry has benefited the quality of the stuff we've all enjoyed so much that the idea that these people think that it's somehow going to improve things to boycott her or pressure companies to fire her or abandon series that she's in. It shows you how little respect they have for the actual craft itself. They just want to have a big ideological hug box. And they do this to other people, particularly if somebody's new starting off. If they're conservative, they don't stand a chance. I'm one of those people. Doesn't matter how hard I work. I'm not going to get into the industry. Not that I want to do voice acting, but in terms of the and dubbing industry or anything like that, or the game stuff, I have to build everything I do on my own because I'm on the right and I happen to like the Orange Man, and that's unacceptable. It's untenable for many people. I see a lot of actors out there tweeting stuff about basically the worst of the worst things directed not specifically even at the president, but at the president's supporters. They call us fascists, they call us Nazis, they call us ignoramuses, and all these other things. Usually they're way off. They're behind the curve, and they don't even know what the truth is. They all bought into the Russia conspiracy shit, right? But I'm seeing that, and I know these actors who go out and say this and who are actually part of the canceling. They don't have the clout to cancel somebody like Karen Strassman because she's just way too talented, and she's been entrenched since '95. Or I should say, that's when she started doing the video game stuff, and that's where she started popping up where we would start hearing her. And she's just so damn good, and she's so talented and so experienced. I don't know who these people think they are, but they are keeping people who are smaller and people who are just upstarts and people maybe who don't have the experience or the even the talent yet. They're pretty much completely blocking them from rising up. So eventually, people like Karen are going to retire eventually, and there's going to be an entire pool of people who might happen to be conservative, who are very highly talented, who are going to get pushed out, and they're not going to be in the industry anymore, and the industry is going to suffer. If these people have their way, or had their way, Karen Strassman would have never been in our games and shows, and those shows would have suffered for it. She's not somebody who's just replaceable, and for these people to kind of treat her like that is, I think it shows their ignorance, but it also shows the maliciousness and destructiveness of this type of mentality, and why we have to push against it. Not that Karen needs people to white knight for her. No, I mean, like I said, I think she handled it perfectly. Basically, she's got nothing to apologize for, so she doesn't have to say anything. But I think we do need to at least point out when this stuff happens and stand up for people big and small when they're being bullied like this. Even though, you can't really bully somebody like her because she's way up top. But the point is this is the mentality. I mean, imagine being a younger actor, right? And you've liked this, or even if you haven't liked it, you actually do feel you agree with some of these statements. You agree with what Christy Alley said. You don't like Antifa or whatever. And they see that these people with no shame will go after somebody who is, has talent. These people she's got more talent in her pinky than these people are going to ever have in their entire lives. And they just think, yep, she's white. It's okay to hate her. It's, she sucks because she's a Trump supporting COVID denier. I don't know where they got the COVID denier shit from. It's bizarre, and it's really discouraging, and it's going to keep good people away from the industry. So I'm concerned. I think the whole thing's crashing and burning. I think Karen's going to be fine. I hope so. But then again, we saw Ubisoft pull their bullshit the other day, and that was a lefty. So, I'm sure if she was in an Ubisoft game, they'd probably be complaining to them too, and then they might cave as well. But I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but this is definitely a sign that things are not healthy right now. And these people who are running the show, and I got used to the UVAs who are retweeting stuff and tweeting stuff about unfollow me, unfriend me if I don't want you enjoying my work if you voted for Trump or all this, and just saying stuff that's completely deranged and demented. You guys better check yourself, because not everybody, they're taking cues to go after somebody who's been in the industry far longer than a lot of these other people have, who are basically gatekeeping. Karen made it to where she is, and she didn't gatekeep for you lefties, right? And now you're basically returning the favor by gatekeeping people like Karen. That's wrong. That's wrong, and you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. And Some people know who I'm talking about, but there's a lot of VAs out there, this kind of stuff. And this, you guys own this. You guys built the culture where this is the norm, this kind of response to her just simply liking some tweets. And that's not healthy for the industry. And it's not healthy for impressionable young fans who just think, oh, that's, I got to have a hug box of every people I agree with, or the only people I can support and watch and enjoy the work of. That's poison. So, just wanted to comment on that. Be sure to check out Karen's, she's just in so much stuff. It's just unbelievable. I'll always have a special place for Ace Combat 5. Most people that I know who have learned her name have either learned it through Bleach or Code Geass. And then I probably, in terms of animation, in terms of video games, most people I know who knew her name was because of Helena from Dead or Alive. And they switch out the Dead or Alive voice actresses and voice actors all the time. They did not switch Helena's actress ever. She's her Helena voice, or I should say her voicing Helena has its own sub fan base, and if you hear it, you kind of might understand why. She's something she's something else, let's say, and that's that level of talent that doesn't just fall off the back of a truck. That's cultivated over someone who's worked, again, since 95, and God knows how long she was working at it beforehand. French. She was working on French TV as well. She went to school in France, I believe. So, just I'm seeing them go after somebody who I really, really like, and I feel like because she's in my tent, I think it's important that I at least say something, because I don't think Karen cares or is feeling alone or anything, but I think people who are like-minded feel that they're alone, and they may feel that there's this trap that you can't actually get to the top and have certain political opinions. I believe that is the case. I believe the gatekeeping is in place, but what I don't want you to believe is that it's your fault. There's something wrong with you. These people are wrong. These people who do this. These people who level these type of criticisms, it's not a matter of opinion. This is wrong, and this is unhealthy for the industry. And, you can like her old stuff, but you can't support her going forward. Why? Because she voted a way you didn't like? Sergeant Marcus, shave balls? Well, I got news for you, pal. You got to grow some balls before you can shave them. And by the looks of your tweet here, it doesn't look like you have any, because she's hurting your fifis for liking something that the President of the United States said. It's ridiculous. And it's like, oh, this has to end here. Yeah, I'd love it to stop overnight, but again, we've bred this culture, and I 100% blame the VAs and the HR people and the CRT people and the leftist for building this up and allowing this to be, have any traction on it. In 2000, if somebody had made a statement like this, like, oh, I don't like that this person voted for Al Gore, or I don't like that this person voted for, Governor Bush, right, when he was governor of Texas. I don't like that, and we should not be supporting them moving forward because they agree with something. I mean, you'd be laughed at. You would say, yeah, okay, get bent. But now this is the norm. And I got news to you. The people who are in the industry who are making it very nasty and very hostile towards conservatives, your little minions, they pick up on that, and they start doing this kind of stuff. And what I don't see is any other of these left-wing activist people coming out and telling these people to basically to piss off, because they agree with it. It's just that Karen is so much more experienced and so much better than they are. They can't take a swing at her. So now it's cowardly, it's inconsistent, and it's also just total bullshit. I just imagine if it was the shoe was on the other foot. Would we think this is okay? No, we would not. I would not think this is okay. They're not. Oh, you're not Christian enough, or something, right? I mean, could you imagine that? Like, I mean, that used to be how it was in the '90s, right? to some degree, when kind of that evangelical Christian kind of stuff started rising up, and it was like, oh well, they're not Christian, we don't want to. We shouldn't really be supporting them. No, that was wrong then, and this is wrong now. I don't care what MSNBC told you. This is wrong, pal. Also, you're a racist. And these until you have basically the same talent and experience level that Karen has, you can just piss right off when it comes to selecting actors, because you guys have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and that's kind of all I got to say about it. This is poison, and again, I don't think Karen's going anywhere, but this is the kind of stuff that is actually it's tearing the industry apart from the inside. They might think they're making things better because they're being surrounded by like-minded people, but this is why, Crunchyroll's in the tank is tanking, and Funimation's having trouble, and Sony Pictures Television's having issues, and the video game companies are having problems and stuff. It's a lot of it does come back to this environment where basically you push the conservatives out, and then you lose talent like Karen. Right? I think there's a lot of people who are on the left who think that like being left wing makes you either more compassionate, more enlightened, or smarter, and it doesn't. And we know it doesn't. And Karen here is proof that essentially that stuff does not equal better talent, because she's, I guess we could assume she's on the right, or at the very least she's not averse to actually agreeing with the president on occasion. And there's people, and that's call for her cancellation, but her level of talent, she's irreplaceable. And for people to think that this is the industry is going to benefit from removing conservatives or people who just like Trump or Christy Alley's tweets, or maybe they don't like Antifa. You think the industry is going to be better for that? You're just objectively wrong. And not only will we suffer, us conservatives, because we'll be basically blacklisted, and we'll suffer. That sucks for us, but your entire industry is going to suffer, and it's going to collapse, because someone like her only comes around, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but, maybe once every 5 years at the most, you get somebody with her level of talent even entering the pool. And the industry right now can't afford to lose her. It can't. And you could at the very least say it's not going to benefit from her not being there. And if you were to somehow purge all of the conservatives, and I know there are some in there that just don't talk about it for this exact reason, it's not going to get better. My Ace Combat 5 experience doesn't get better because Karen was replaced with somebody who was left wing, if that was the case, right? I liked it the way it was, and I'd like it to stay the way it was. And I don't care that Matthew Mercer's a lefty and Karen Strassman is on the right, and they both starred in a game about basically Japanese anime people flying fighter jets. That's not what affected the quality. You start making those kind of ideological decisions and throw that into your casting and your crewing, it's got nowhere to go but absolutely into the ground. So yeah, they'll get what they want for a little while. They'll get that control they want. But I mean, just remember, you're throwing out people like Karen Strassman with your deranged hatred for half the population of the country, or at least half the voting population, and that's not gonna that hurts them. Yes, it does. It hurts people like me. Yes, but it's gonna hurt you guys too, and it'll hurt the industry. So that's all. Just felt I should say something because I think Karen deserves to be defended, and I think she deserves to be defended by people on the left as well, who are in the industry. And I know this wasn't a huge scandal or anything, but the silence is a little deafening. That these people going off the cues of, you guys know who I'm talking about. And it's not just one person, it's multiple people, that they're not being, maybe it's hypocritical, I don't know, maybe they really do want Karen out, but they can't do it, because she's just too established, maybe, but it's it's wrong, and we should not be afraid to stand up for her and stand up for others. Because if they'll try to pull this shit on somebody as high up and as important as and talented as Karen, they will do unbelievably bad things to people who are just starting or just trying to enter, and it's not fair. So that's all I want to say about that.